Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on your time zone. This is the weekly VOLTHA TST meeting. Let's see. And I've got some agenda items. If anybody has anything they'd like to add to the agenda or discuss, feel free to pop them in. Okay, so for just a couple of things, I thought about just trying to highlight a couple of things that have gone over on the last week and a few of the things I'm working on right now, just so people are aware of what problems are in play. So last week, you might have seen the announcement in VOLTHA Dev that the VOLT-CTL binary was released. Let me see. And we have had some updates on docs.voltha.org. There was an update to the core contributor list. So we have, this is all current now for contact information. So we have the current TSTs, and if you need to talk to anybody about a given area, the contact information and email addresses are in here. That's on docs.voltha.org. So a few of the problems that are known and things that are being worked on. Serkan opened a request for the new IGMP CA repository. So that's being worked on. I have to figure out the attributes, or we have to create the repository, grant access to VOLTHA devs, and grant +2 approval for the TST members. Then we need to set up Jenkins jobs so the submissions to IGMP-CA will trigger like lint testing and just unit tests when the IGMP-CA code is changed. And there was also a request to do some certification on the new Adtran OLT 6320 hardware. That's being worked on too. So part of the VOLT-CTL upgrade we had that was connected to a JIRA ticket that we had a verification job that was failing. So VOLT-CTL is fixed and the JIRA ticket is pretty much fixed. I'm waiting to close that right now because the Garrett patch that this initially started from, if it'll ever come up, it's in, but it has a merge conflict. So I was just waiting for this job to merge or for this patch to be merged and the job run. Once we have a clean state, I'll close this ticket out. So the partner to the VOLT-CTL upgrade, we also have to get the bbsim command upgraded to the latest version. I've been running into a few problems with this. The first one, the Kubernetes kind command is missing. This doesn't look like it's a big problem. It's a chicken and egg problem. We're trying to test if a Kubernetes cluster is set up using the kind command before the kind command was installed. So I'm working on fixing that one right now. When the release job runs, there's some downstream failures that are showing up. And the job is showing as unstable. So we'll have to see what's going on with that. One of the problems, the log, let me see. Apologies for jumping around so much too. Okay, so one of the issues that were coming out was a problem with some of the Kubernetes policy versions. There's a policy v1 beta 1, which Serkan pointed out that's been superseded by policy v1. So the beta needs to go away. This is probably a function or symbol table entry that's an older version. We need the newer version. One thing I found while I was starting to look into this, we have a few different VOLTHA repositories that are still dependent on the v1 beta directories. My question, a suggestion was made to just go in and update the change the names of the directories just to get it working. I have a question. Should we be upgrading, or are we ready to upgrade the vendor directory for these repositories to move away from the beta 1 code and move into the released policy V1 code?
One question before that, Joey. So in our servers, did we update the Kubernetes version so we see this problem right now, or something else happened?
Something else happened. We have not upgraded the Kubernetes version, to my knowledge, I should say.
Oh, so that's interesting.
Yeah.
Or the ham version has changed. That is because we see that warning. So
I'm not sure.
What is triggered this problem?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can speculate. We haven't upgraded any code on the servers, but we do pull in some of the make files are set up to pull in tools like the kind command, and we often grab the latest version of kind. Just as an example, maybe that's where this difference crept in.
Yeah, that might trigger. So one solution for that, you already pointed out, we can have a conditional commands in our Helm charts. Specifically, we checked what was the repository name. Let me just check and send the link.
Yeah, the person had a long name if it was the same one I found.
So there's a solution for that. I'll send it to you. I'm trying to remember the repository name, but I couldn't.
Was it the SED command you posted in the Jira ticket?
No, not that.
Okay, yeah. If you could send it off offline.
Yeah, I'll send it later.
Okay. But this is just some of the items we'll have to resolve in order to be able to do a clean release of BBSIM. The missing kind command should be fixed today. We just have to install a copy before we do the test. We're kind of lucking out right now with the test because we run the kind command to see if the cluster is already set up and running. And we do that by checking the amount of output that's generated by the command. The command itself is failing because kind is not installed, so no output is generated. But if we somehow manifest some messages into the conditional that's being checked, we can end up with a false positive. So it would be good to fix that. And Torsten also reported a problem with Rancher. There was some networking. What was it? Yeah, there's an issue going on with the Rancher setup in the community pod. I have to look at that one as well. Okay, so that's pretty much the stuff I'm working on right now. I guess the floor is open if anybody would like to bring anything up.
Just one small remark to the PBSIM sanity test. This is a well-known issue in ATT workflow, and it's I'm wondering, it's still in the BBSIM, but I can remember that we introduced the memory leak test and we removed the AT&T workflow because of this error. This happens sporadically. I think if you repeat the test, maybe it will pass.
Okay, I'll give that a try. That, yeah, it is showing up as unstable. And I want to say it did pass on an earlier attempt, so you're probably correct. That it's an intermittent test failure behavior. Okay.
I don't know who will care about the issue in the BVSIM. I can remember that Matteo said it's difficult to reproduce and it happens so seldom that he don't like to remove it
Okay.
because he didn't find the reason why.
Yeah,
Maybe
problems.
someone has the time to check where is the reason.
Yeah, problems that fix themselves are not good. Okay, I guess, does anybody else have anything else they'd like to add?
I just pasted the link in the chat screen, by the way.
Joy,
Sure.
we have some questions about BBF adapter development. I don't know if it's possible to discuss here in this meeting. I don't know, because Timon from ONF said to us to discuss here about some doubts in the development status.
Sure, if you have questions, feel free to bring them up.
Yes, I have put here in the meeting chat 3 questions that we had to interested. For example, from now, what is the status of BBF adapter development? I don't know if it's active right now in the evolutions of BBF adapter, or if is not stable. And the roadmap about the finishing of the and the maturity of the code. You can said something about it.
I can take this, Joy.
Mhm.
The BBF adapter is last year it's developed to do a POC in NetworkX event and to show that the BBF and ONF can work together. So it was only for proof of concept purposes. And it is demoed last year in NetworkX event, yes, but later no more development is done on the adapter itself. I think on BBF side also there's no one working on it currently. And in last NetworkX event, we talked on that with BBF members, and that we are both on ONF side and BBF side. I think people are still thinking if this is the correct way of implementing this relationship. So that's all, I mean, that I know. There is no active development, and it is not in the priority list of ONF currently. At least, I mean, the requirements that we gather from the operators.
Okay.
Do you
right.
have any? I'm sorry, Lucia. Do you have any requirement from any vendor or something?
No, CPQD, the place here where I work, intends to evaluate if it's possible or interesting to develop some or to help some codes or some deployment of this BBF adapter to be to be used with solutions like VOLTHA and others vendors like RadSys and EdgeCore, and we are studying about if it's possible, or if it's a good thing to spend time to get the code better. I don't know. I think that maybe CPQD and on ONF can could talk about more about this, about the
Yeah, so let me try to tell more. So just to double check, we are talking that the BBF adapter, it's not discontinued, but it's part of a POC, but maybe later it's a low priority to work on from ONF side, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so what Luciano is telling is that we do have like a project here that we are thinking to expand BBF adapter to VOLTHA, but not only to a specific brand. We are trying to work in a more generic way, working with different vendors. Luciano, does this make sense? This is what I believe, right?
yes, for sure.
So more or less, this is what we are trying to get from ONF. Is this something that it's interesting for both from CPQD side, and I believe Furukawa too? They are thinking this is something interesting, but we would like to know if it's something that we can get ONF on board to help us too.
So, hi, this is Timon. I think I can say that in the broadband area board, this has been discussed a little bit as well. And, you know, and DT and Turk Telecom are represented there. I don't know if anybody from the operators is here today, really. So, you know, I think there's definitely interest in this area, but I think as Mahir was saying, nobody is actively investing in it right now. And so I think if CPQD were to actively invest, I think that would be terrific, and there's room to contribute. And in many ways, you wouldn't be, you know, clashing right now. And I think that this forum could, you know, would be supportive of you doing that work. I think, for instance, if you were to sort of define your ambitions or kind of spec out the architecture or the approach, I think you could get a review and a hearing here. We'd be happy to have you come and present it and get feedback. And you know, we would be supportive of you moving that work forward. And, you know, in a very community first kind of way, you know, projects where there's community interest and the community invests is what advances the project. And this is a perfect example that there's absolutely an opportunity for you to advance the project, and I think we'd love to see you do that.
Just to let you know, Joey, it's CPQD. Yeah, no worries. But yeah, got it, Timon. But just to double check, from what I understand is that from ONF perspective, even if we go on board CPQD and Furukawa, we go with this. It's not something that ONF considers as a good priority right now. So it would be like a best effort, right?
Well, you know, I mean, ONF, so the VOLTHA project's really moved into a community-led kind of phase. And so it's not ONF making these, you know, decisions about go, no go or priority. It's really this group and a combination, but for technical decisions and whatnot, you know, this is the group, the TST, and the right people are here. And, you know, there is, you know, the broadband area board that maybe looks more at, you know, higher level roadmap or priority kinds of issues and whatnot too. And as I said, there's support for the work. There's definitely interest in finding more alignment between the BBF work and the VOLTA related work. But for any work to advance, the community really needs to step up. And and what I'm hearing is that CPQD is interested in stepping up in this space, maybe in collaboration with Furukawa or others, and that's perfect. I mean, that's the way open source projects advance. And so now, if you're asking if ONF or some other engineers are going to carry half the load, that is an unrealistic expectation. There isn't sort of a magic pool of resource that's going to advance this forward. But if you're if you're in a position to step up and sort of spec the work and drive it forward, I think you definitely can get a support from this group architecturally and directionally to make sure that the direction you're headed in fits into the architecture and fits into the overall direction of the project.
Okay, got it. Luciano is probably the one that's going to take the leadership if we're going to go or not. But I believe one of his questions here, it's like the second one, the maturity of and how far is it to get to the target that we are planning. Of course, we're going to need to present exactly what we are planning. But we need at least later from ONF a feedback of where we got until now. So where we are right now, and then we present what we understand that we may be able to contribute to see how far is it and if it's something feasible for both of us. Of course, it's going to be more on CPQD and Furukawa side. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Okay, maybe Luciano, maybe we can try to make some material to present what we are targeting, and then we try to get from ONF perspective how far we are from it. So what is needed and if it's something feasible.
Okay.
And do you have a
We-
particular Cloud CO implementation, sort of northbound of VOLTA that you're thinking of integrating with as part of this work?
Luciano, can you say this one, because I'm not too much familiarized.
Could you repeat, please?
So, the BBF adapter is a way of connecting VOLTA on the southbound side to sort of a BBF Cloud CO implementation northbound. And I'm wondering, and I think for Network X, it was a Nokia-based, Cloud CO system that was that VOLTA was integrated with or demonstrated with. And I'm wondering what system northbound you're thinking of, connecting VOLTA to or demonstrating this with.
Okay. CPQD has here one OSS BSS system that will be adapted with these patterns like metconf or other things. So one of them, it will be the OSS BSS suite of CPQD, right?
Okay, makes sense.
Yes. For now, I think that is the first, but I think that we need to discuss about it with Furukawa and other guys.
So
Right. We are more on the planning side. We do not have a
Yes,
anything,
yes.
but we are trying to
now
understand where we are. So how far, what is the status? So how far is from our target to see if it's something feasible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
We started some conversations with Furukawa and the intentions of Furukawa and CPQD, and we studied something about the BBF adapter right now, but there are many doubts about the architecture, about the gaps and so we need to study and to planning to plan more deeply about
Yeah,
about the system.
my guess is that these questions that we said previously, maybe we can share it on Slack and try to work on to get more info about it. Does it sounds okay, Timo and the rest of the ONF team?
Yes, it sounds good.
Cool. Okay. Then I don't know, Luciano, do you have any other point or maybe
No, I
one?
think that for now it's okay, and we will do some meetings here and discuss about it, and after that we evaluate the issues.
Okay, sounds good. Joey, back to you, I suppose.
Okay. Oops. Yeah, I'm off mute. Okay, well, I guess, are there any other topics people would like to bring up? Oh, and for future reference, if you have any questions or anything you'd like to cover in the agenda, feel free to make entries in here as you need to.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, I guess if there are no more items, we can probably, let's see, it's almost 11:30. Looks like we can give you a half an hour back out of your day. So I guess thanks everybody for joining.
Yeah, bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Yep.